Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We're actually over on the new farm we just got. It's a lease farm, actually the 37-acre ram farm. This is it was a pretty rough little piece when we got over here. I mean, it was a lot of weeds and brush, and had some big old brush piles in it. We've taken care of those. I'm going to show you what we did here in a minute. There was a great big brush pile ran from those cedars all the way down to that tree line over there. And it was wide. It was, I don't know, 40, 50 feet wide. And it was full of black dirt from all the trees that they'd pushed out years ago. And the previous owner tried to burn it and didn't get a very good burn on it at all, the trees. And so it was a mess. So we're going to put in a permanent fence there, but in the meantime, to keep our rams in, we needed a short-term fix. And so what we did is we drove a fiberglass rod right here. You can see the post. This is a solar charger. It's made by Patriot. And this particular model is the SG1000. And I just checked the voltage on it. Now, see, it's only powering 3 poly wires from here clear through that valley, through that clearing, way up on that far hill over there. So it's, I don't know, that's probably 400 yards, so it'd be 1,200 feet or more. But it's got 3 wires on it, and I brush hogged it, so we wouldn't have it was easier to put the fence in and kept all the vegetative load off our wire. The rams can see it easier, the dog can see it easier, and just made it easier to put the fence in. And I wanted to place here when we get ready to build this is going to be woven wire with a barb. That's what the landowner, when he bought this property, that's what the previous owner had used, was this net wire, or woven. And then he put, I mean, this is a fence. It is a fence. You don't need something like that to keep our cattle in, but I guess if you had a high-headed animal, and he was wild, he might try and jump that. That top wire is even with my nose. I mean, that's 5 foot. Well, shoot. I'm 5'8", and my head's right here. So it's 5'2", 5'4", something like that. This thing's hot. It's got a solar panel built into it. See, it's sitting there. Watch it. See that spark or that flash? There it goes. So this is a self-contained unit. It's got a little voltage regulator in there, so when it's really hot, it doesn't burn your battery up in there from overcharging it. And we don't need a ground rod here. We're just hooking on to that woven wire fence. It's fairly wet. We've got 100 steel posts all the way around this farm. So we got a really good ground. Okay. He's got the next cross piece in. That's what we'll be hooking our woven wire onto. It's coming from that post there and continuing our journey on through Brent's farm. But you can see those piles over there. Well, as you magnify that times 100, that's what we had over here. And well, you can see what Johnny did. He came in here with that track hoe. Let me tell you what, he cleaned her up. Those of y'all might remember the earlier video of me coming down this valley right here. When we first leased it, I was investigating what we had in front of us, and it looked pretty nasty down in here. I mean, it was rough, lots of big bluffy hills, and I'll pick this up. Piece of cedar, that'll be there a long time if I don't pick that up. It's not gonna rot. Anyway, when Johnny was in here, he needed a place to push all those big brush piles out there. And so there wasn't anything in here but a bunch of old cedars that were almost dead. And so Johnny pushed all that up into that pile over there. And then I came in with our spin cedar, and Isaac and Connor and our new intern applicant, his name was Ben, they helped They didn't help, they did it. They put this hay down. You take 3 big, strong young men, I couldn't hardly keep up with them putting hay out. All I was doing is unrolling it. They had pitchforks and was spreading it. And then Connor and I came back this morning, and we had one piece here. We ran out of hay the other day. We didn't have enough to do it all. And so I seeded this morning, and Connor and I came down here. Got a clump of hay right here. I'll shake that out so we grow more grass. Connor and I came down here, and it was so steep. I brought half a bale down in there and unrolled it. Then I came and got a full bale and backed it down to right here. And we carried that pitchfork at a time down that hill. Because if you'd have backed that 1,200-pound bale down that hill, the four-wheeler, you wouldn't have came out of there. Because we didn't use the whole bale. We only used about 25% of it. But we seeded this good, and folks, Johnny got this nice and smooth now. It's wide enough that I can run a brush hog through here. I can keep the brush off the fence, the new fence. And the new fence is actually going to go pretty well where that wire is. Of course, it's not going to be that crooked. It'll be straight. But, yeah, this was a mess. And now we can build the fence in here. We've already got the previous landowner cut all the posts. There they are. Those are cedars. And they've got a ton of red in the middle of them. They got red all the way almost to the outside of the bark. So those are really good corners. They're a little bit long. I don't need them that long. Those darn things are 12, 14 feet long. We're going to probably cut them down to 9 feet. But anyway, yeah, we got our work cut out for us right here. We'll get the corners set to hold the wire, and then we're going to come down through, and in that low spot down there, that's actually a little creek. We're looking at either putting tin that'll fold up when it rains real hard. It'll follow the creek height and come up, and then it comes back down. I've done that on one farm. There's not a lot of brush coming down through there. We might play around and actually try like a cattle panel or something like that too. We're still up in the air exactly what we're going to do down there, because there's quite a bit of water comes down through there, but not a lot of trees. I want to show you the big area we did. We really gained some pasture back over here. Just have to hold tight. It's going to take me a little bit to walk over there. But once we had all the brush moved, I had a guy come in with a lime spreader, and we put down 3 tons of lime per acre. And the next step, I'm going to get this thing going, guys, ladies. We're going to put down a little bit of phosphorus and potassium, and that'll jumpstart it, because this farm was pretty much a cedar grove, the whole thing. And the last landowner, I think he rented a dozer, or maybe he had it done, I don't know. But somebody came in with a dozer, and they pushed a ton of trees. I brought this farm up on Google Maps, and when I did, this is hard to believe, everything you see out there was cedar. The last Google Maps survey that was done, I think that map said 2006 or 8. It was a while back, maybe it's 12, I don't know. This is all cedars. And he pushed the cedars off. I don't think they did too much for controlling stuff after that, far as, you know, putting down any fertility or unrolling any hay like what we're going to do. But look at this. Johnny gained us about 2 acres right here, just on this part. Look at all those big trees down in there. I mean, those are trees. All this brush you're looking at was out there in that field. It was a mess. I mean, sure as heck couldn't mow it. It was just growing up into brush and honey locust trees and cedar, and there wasn't much way of growing anything in there. But just to give you the scale of it, I've got to walk down here and show you. So we took 6 12 to 1,500 pound net wrap bales and started clear up there by those cedars, and just started. I seeded it, put down the seed first, and we put down Kentucky 31, 20 pounds to the acre, and this hay had a lot of clover in it, and different other stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of seed in this hay. It was baled in August, so I knew it wasn't high quality hay, but it was exactly what I needed. It had seed on it, and so we unrolled it. We got a ton of seed from the hay, and that whole ditch there, that's the only tree that was growing that was worth saving, and that was the cottonwood tree. And this down in the low spot, that's going to make one heck of a shade tree one of these days. It's going to take off, and now it doesn't have any competition from the thorn trees. But this is all scattered timber back in here, and Johnny needed a place to push all that, and so I just had him come back here, talked with the landowner. He said, Greg, I trust you. I know you know what you're doing. You do what you think needs to be done. And so I left this row. There's a walnut, there's 2 walnuts there, and an oak tree, and this is a softwood right here. I left it. We'll trim those other 4 little guys away from that big one. You got a beautiful hickory tree up there on the hill, and those are all oaks. There's a persimmon tree up on the hill here, just loaded with persimmons. I made sure I left that. But this is going to make some good pasture. But you can't do this type of brush. I mean, this is just all burned trees, folks. And those are cedar. It would have taken, well, some of those would have never rotted out in your lifetime. They got that red center, and red centers on cedar trees don't rot. They just stay there. And so those trees would be there your entire life. And, you know, they're taking up land that you can be growing beautiful grass on. And so now we've got this cleared. We can put trees where we want it. We probably come out here and maybe plant some oak trees, put cages around them to keep the animals from rubbing on them. And we can place shade right where we want it. Good trees, not this. Well, there just wasn't any trees here to save except for that one cottonwood tree. But we're pretty excited about it. It's greening up. I went in here and brush hogged it about a month ago, and it never rained after I brush hogged it. It's actually been 5 weeks ago. And I'm like, man, that farm has just turned brown. But then we got that 1 3/4 of rain. We're supposed to get some more today. The sheep are doing well over here. The rams, we've got about 24 rams running on this farm, and we'll be selling some more of those. But we're going to keep some of the bigger rams for our own flock, and we'll be going from that. But this is just a pretty little farm. It's far enough away from our sheep, our ewes. We don't have to worry about the rams getting into the ewes. So just glad that Brent got this, and we made it better for Brent. And we'd love for Brent to come in whenever he wants to and put some sheep with ours. And I mean, we're going to build the fence where he can hold livestock now. So I think it's been a win-win deal, and we're going to get going. Connor's up there waiting on me, and it looks like it's going to rain any minute. And we'll see y'all down the road next time. I wanted to give a shout out to Cliff Honnas, H-O-N-A-S, Cliff. He's a veterinarian in Texas. He's doing the regenerative type grazing there in Texas. He's got his own channel, and I'm going to put a link to it on the description. Cliff Honnas, H-O-N-A-S. Really sharp guy. Came to our grazing school. He's got a really nice set of cattle started there. He's using one of our South Pole bulls, and Cliff is pretty fired up. He's very optimistic about the direction of his farm and his cow herd. So y'all need to check him out, Cliff Honnas, and just look in the description for the link, and you can check him out. Folks, y'all have a good one, and we're going to see you down the road next time.